Hi. So I slipped on a banana peel and wound up here. and it feels really good, but the last year and a half, I lost a business, lost someone I cared about, my father.
Last year and a half, I had contrasting experience that sharpened my desire.
We're going to get over that.
Sharpened my desire. I'm not a vibrational match to my desire yet, but I'm aware that benefit has come to me. And I'm looking forward to realizing the emotional benefit of this request, this asking. Yeah.
So my story's changed. And you're right, it's the contrast. But I prayed for a change because I was falling into a lot of addiction and a lot of things that were not good for my life. And so I prayed for a change, and it came in a big, big way. And at first it was negative.
First, we want to say nobody needs to pray for change because it's inevitable. But when you say I prayed for it, it means you lined up with the inevitable. Things are always going to change. They're always changing. They're always changing. And that's a good thing. You can't stand still. Things are always changing. That's like putting the seed in the ground and asking it not to grow. Its true nature is to change.
It's interesting that you're saying that because I lost an organic produce farm. That was my love. But I don't want to talk about loss.
Well, we don't want to talk about any of this.
Yeah.
Because all it does is practice a vibration that doesn't serve you.
Right.
But we do want to say to you that we are visiting with two people in the same seminar who were experiencing what they thought was profound loss. One of them, an artist driving across country, someone broke into her car and stole all of her examples of her talent. And she was on her way to Hollywood where she was going to display her talent so that she could work for them, and everything was gone. And we said, most of that isn't relevant to who you now are anyway. Just go and paint for them and let them see who you now are. Don't show them what you did 20 years ago and 15 years ago and 10 years ago or even last year. They don't want last year. They want who you are now. And the other one was a man who was in his 60s, who had built quite a big financial empire and had lost it all. Those were his words. I've lost it all. I'm too old to start over again. And we said to him, you misunderstand what your true asset is. You think it was the money that you accumulated in these stocks and in these properties and in this that is now no longer on your balance sheet. But your true value is your vibrational accumulation. It's your vibrational currency. And so there can be no loss. There is no loss. But you got to tap into your vibrational currency, which is at its most heightened state. You have more vibrational currency now, more asking, and therefore more ability to receive than you ever have before. But that old story will hold it apart from you. This story, which is the accurate story of the way the laws of the universe work and the way they apply to you, this story will free you to the realization of all kinds of new abundance. There is nothing like you believing, flawed premise, that you have lost something that you care about to put what you care about in a stronger place in your vortex. Nothing makes a creative vortex like losing, because in the knowing what you don't want, you ask in such a strong way. And you don't know it yet, but when you ask, it is given every time. So all that heartache and all that consternation and all that discord and all that discomfort has created something for you, the likes of which you have never seen. And there's a part of you that knows that. That's why you're saying, I prayed for it. I really wanted it. When you didn't really want it, you didn't even know you wanted it, but your inner being knew that you wanted it and you got it and now it's there. And that's the story that you want to start telling. Don't talk about that old story anymore. It'll just hold you in a place you don't want to be. When you didn't really want it, you didn't even know you wanted it, but your inner being knew that you wanted it and you got it and now it's there. And that's the story that you want to start telling. Don't talk about that old story anymore. It'll just hold you in a place you don't want to be. It's hard not to tell the old story when it's the only story you've got. It's kind of like, hi. Who are you? I can't talk about it. Eventually I will, but right now all I'll do is shoot myself in the foot if I tell you how I got here. I'd just like to say to you, here is a really good place and it's going to get better. Oh, well, that's boring. I know. That's why I'm tempted to tell you, I know I shouldn't, but I lost my organic farm. Oh.
Recently, I started studying A Course in Miracles. and I'm a very new student to it, but in the Course it says that we think we have many problems, but we really only have one, and that one problem is the separation from God, our source.
Perfectly said. It seems like we heard that today 100 times.
And there's really only two things, love and fear. Ego, fear, love.
Wait.
Source.
More? Tell us more.
So,
only two things. What are they?
Fear and love. Ego, love.
Well, let's call it alignment or not.
Right.
And in really practical terms, let's call it satisfied and less satisfied. Because if you put yourself in a position where you feel fear and someone says there's only two things and you should choose love instead of fear, you're in deep doo-doo. Because you cannot find anything close to love when you're in fear. It's too big of a jump. But you could feel something a little less than fear.
So I'm trying to shine love on what I used to consider fearful things.
But the thing about that is, when you say, I'm going to shine love on fearful things, so you get a good look at the fearful thing. And now you got no access to love. Are you guys looking at this fearful thing? Yeah, we are, but you can't feel it. Shining love on fearful things, those are words, blah, blah, blah. They are words. They don't mean anything. You can't get there from there. You cannot shine love on fearful things. You can shine love on hopeful things. And you can shine hope on frustrating things. And you can shine frustration on angry things. And you can shine anger on resentful things. And you can shine resentment on fearful things. But you can't shine love on fearful things because the gap is too big. That's like setting your radio dial on 106 AM and expecting to hear what's being broadcast on 97.7 FM. The frequencies have to line up better than that, you see. What we hear you saying is, I want to feel good, and when I don't, I try to feel better anyway. But just give yourself a break. Don't ask yourself to take great big steps. Nobody can. Law of attraction won't let you. And law of attraction is your friend. Doesn't sound that friendly, does it? Law of attraction is your friend. It's your friend because it's consistent. And it's your friend because it will always bring you evidence of how you're vibrating. And if you don't know what your vibrational offering is, then you can't do anything about it. The good news is that when you go to sleep at night, that momentum stops. And when you wake up in the morning, you have a very high probability of being able to shine love. Not on fear. You can shine love. I'm awake and I'm shining love. Let me find some fear to shine it on. Where'd the love go? Where'd the love go? The love went away. But wait. All right, tomorrow morning, I'm going to find love and I'm going to shine it on fear. I found love. Where's that fear? There it is. Where'd the love go? You can't have it both ways.
You're so right.
Helpful, isn't it?
It is.
We know you get this.
I do.
We also know that you're not so different from many. You've heard a lot of words that have resonated when you heard them. Like today, a lot of you have heard a lot of things that you really resonate with. And so you know it. You really know it. And the reason you know it right now is because you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You've been patient and willing to listen to us for all this time. And we've been offering not just words, but a vibrational frequency that is reaching you right where you are. And so when you're right there and then you hear these words, you know it. But if you were to repeat a lot of what you've heard now, from a place of discouragement on another day, the words just don't matter. It isn't the words that make the difference. It's the emotion that makes the difference, because the emotion tells you the true vibration that you've got going on. And it just gets better and better for you. Don't feel any self-blame or blame to someone else. Don't beat up on yourself about how long it took you to get here or how far you think you've got to go. It's all so good. Your inner being is so happy about where you are. And now with this new knowing, it's going to be not just easier, but way more fun.
I heard a term that came, I don't know if it came from Marianne Williamson or the Course in Miracles, but it's called the journey without distance.
The journey without distance?
The journey from the heart and the head and to the distance. Kind of what you were just talking about. I mean, it's the knowing. You know before you know, before you know, before you know.
Well, let's talk about that, because there's something meaty in there. So whether this is what they meant or not, this is what we mean about the journey with no distance. So when you've managed alignment, you're there. Because everything that you want in terms of manifestation, whether it's a material object or a pile of money or a relationship or an empire, no matter what it is you want, that you believe you will feel happy if you have it. Every single thing that you want, the reason that you want it is because you believe you will feel better when you have it. So when you show yourself that you can feel satisfied, whether it's manifested or not, then you have accomplished your journey. You haven't had to go the distance to accomplish the journey. You see what we're getting at? You accomplished what you were reaching out for. Because this distance, these goals, they are elusive in this way. Start again. The accomplishment of everything that you want in any point in time is elusive because you can't stop asking for more. So there's always going to be more coming down the pipeline to satisfy you. And there will never be a time that it has all come down and you've received it all. And then you say, hallelujah, I am now the receiver of all of it. That will never be. And that's the biggest sales job that we're wanting to accomplish here today. Because if you will accept that you're not ever going to get it all done, it's easier for you to be satisfied with what's happening right here and now. And oh, the bliss of that. The bliss of realizing that it's syncing up with who you really are that you're reaching for. So let's just take it from a human standpoint, because you often want to say, I must have had a good reason for coming here. It has to have been important. And we say, it is important. And then you say, and so did I come to make this world a better place? And we say, you being here cannot help but make this world a better place. But it was not your responsibility and it was not your goal. You could not help but positively add to the upliftment of this time and space. And then you say, so what is the purpose of me being here? And we say, to find some things that you want. And then you say, then therefore, isn't it important that I satisfy those things that I want? If I've come to identify things that I want, then must I not accomplish those things that I want in order to fulfill my reason for being here? And we say, that's what trips you up. Because what you want is to be in this physical form with the freedom to think whatever thoughts you are choosing and the ability to come into alignment with your source about those thoughts. Stay with us for a minute, because we must be tying your brain into a little bit of a knot, and we want to untangle it. We really want you to hear this. So you said, I'll come and I'll find new things to focus upon. And we said, and when you do, we will focus with you. And then you said, and I will align to your focus about the new things that I found for us all to focus on. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? I'll come forth, you said, into my physical body, and I'll find new things for all that is to focus on. And we said, and when you do that, we'll focus on them. You'll put them in your vortex and we'll focus on them. And then you said, and I will find alignment with you focusing on what I found for us all to focus on. And we said, and that is creation. That is creation.
Thank you.